Welcome, one and all, to the immensely small box that is the plant cell. One of three major cells that makes up all plant life on our humble world. Before we begin, I would like to address a few. What's that? Oh, you say you're having trouble making things out through all of this green? My apologies. Allow me to adjust your eyes to better cope with the cell. Hold still, this won't hurt a bit. Is that better? Good. As I was saying, before we begin, I would like to address a few things. First of all, I am an artificial linguistic communicator, but you can call me Al. I will be your guide today. Second, there are a few rules around here. Rule 1. No touching anything inside the organelles. This is a very delicate system. Rule 2. Keep your hands inside the vesicle at all times. And Rule 3. Please, no black and white striped shirts on the premises. Thank you. One more thing. In case you might be interested, there's a map behind you which labels the entirety of the cell. Don't bother trying to memorize it all, as I will be taking you to every organelle. Now that all the boring information has been said, please step inside the vesicle to begin your journey. The white matter you see around you is called cytoplasm. It holds everything up in the cell. Everything, luckily, except for us. It's everywhere, so get used to seeing it. Now, the first major organelle, the nucleus. This is the brain of the cell, housing and protecting DNA, which is written instruction. You can see the DNA inside, blinking as it sends out orders to the rest of the cell. The small blue mass at the center is known as the nucleolus. It produces rRNA, which in turn makes ribosomes. No, I did not accidentally say R twice. I am a machine, remember. I do not make mistakes. No, it is literally how it is spelled. Little r, capital R, and A. The winding strip of red, which you saw earlier, is called the Endoplasmic Reticulum, or the ER for short. There are two types of ER, smooth and rough. The smooth ER has a wide variety of functions, such as creating lipids, which are fats, destroying toxins, and regulating levels of certain chemicals. The simpler rough ER has the main job of making proteins for the cell. Proteins are the building blocks for cells. It also happens to be covered in ribosomes, which is conveniently why the scientists named it rough. Ribosomes assist the rough ER in producing proteins. As you can see, this twisting labyrinth is crucial for the cell, and it takes longer to talk about it than to measure it. The mitochondria, the muscle house of the cell. Energy is literally made here. The glucose the plant makes from photosynthesis, along with carbon dioxide, which it takes from the air, comes here. Both travel down the fluid known as the matrix, where they are then burned into ATP, which is power for the cell. These next two are big ones. Surrounding your left and right are the large sensual vacuole, and the cell membrane, respectively. The vacuole stores the cell's water, and in doing so provides structure for the cell. The cell membrane, on the other hand, surrounds the entirety of the cell, controlling what goes in and what goes out. Relatively simple, aren't they? Enjoy the view. You may have noticed these small things throughout the cell. They are what I refer to as ribosomes. Their main job is to produce proteins like the rough ER. Small, but very important, so they are absolutely everywhere. Up ahead and to the left, you'll see more vesicles as they pass by. They transport the ever so important proteins throughout the cell. And speaking of proteins, here come some now. They are being sorted in the Golgi Apparatus, which will then ship them where needed via vesicle. Not to be confused with ER, despite the similar shape. Here's a special one, the chloroplast, home to photosynthesis. It acts similar to mitochondria, but it instead converts carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen, using sunlight as a kickstarter. Oxygen is produced as a byproduct here, which the plant does not need, so feel free to take in a deep breath. Well, it seems our journey is drawing to it. Wait, stop the vesicle. There's one organelle I almost forgot. Turn around, please. The cell wall is the last one, protecting the cell and surrounding and supporting it, similar to the cell membrane and the vacuole. Drum roll, please. Yes, my good sir. That ever so slightly darker green is the cell wall. Quite a marvel, isn't it? I hope you have enjoyed the ride. Pardon me, but I've noticed a severe lack of people today. If you don't mind my asking, where is everyone else? What? You mean the attraction's not open yet? Then, what are you doing here? I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid you'll have to leave now. Please take the exit to the left. Thank you for coming. Have a nice day.